We are going live. Hey, everybody, it's showtime. Showtime, and I'm a giant nerd. All right.
Do. Oh, yeah.
Ready to go live. Hello, everybody. It's a dinosaur. His name's Rex and blah, 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 bloop. Do. Yeah! This episode is sponsored by Quackalope. They are ridiculously in love with ducks. I have no clue why, but you know what? It's cool. Hey, amazing people. It's Chris from the Charity Board Gamer. I'm excited because I get to hang out with somebody that I have a great admiration for. And something that's amazing is just seeing the amazing communication that this person does with not just content creators, not just media, but with the whole board game community. And if you've seen any of the stuff that she's done before, she was before at Origins. I think she was before you were at Renegade. Like all these different places, but the one place that I get super excited about, because every time I see an email or every time I see something in Discord, it's related to Pandasaurus games, and that person tonight is Danni Loe. Danni, thanks for coming on tonight.
Hey, Chris. Thanks for having me.
Anytime. I truly do mean that, because something that's really nice is when something's about to come out, and sometimes people don't know about it until the moment where it actually does come out. You're just kind of like, oh, that game just came out yesterday. I have no clue about that. Whereas
I've said this before.
yeah, but I truly do see that you are passionate about what you're doing work-wise, and you take it very seriously, and you infect it with passion and excitement. And I love the fact that I know it might be months out. I know that there's something coming in October. I don't know what it is. I've seen glimpses and just little taste of it, and I'm excited. But you are a great powerhouse for Pandasaurus. I want to say, first and foremost, before we get into this interview and do anything else, I do really believe that you are perfect for them, because you truly have made Pandasaurus more enjoyable to work with. I truly do believe that. So,
thank you.
You're welcome.
That was a very mighty piece of praise you just gave me, and I don't know what to say except for thank you. I do try really hard to get people excited about our games, because I am also excited. So if I'm the only one who's excited, my job is not very exciting. Let's see how many more times I can say the word exciting during this interview.
It's okay. I don't have anything. Sadly, with this, I could try to get a Twitch bot or something to quickly get that set up, but it would take me about 5 minutes to figure out how I go to Nightbot, log back into Twitch, all that stuff. I should have
given you a heads up.
All right, we're going to do a quick short break now. Let's say hi to some of the people that are in here. We have Estefania. She's in here right now. Yeah, they're an awesome person. We played Popcats Fighter. I did horribly, but this game's not even hitting Kickstarter till September, and
it already looks so good.
It's so polished. It's so polished for a 1v1. I would almost say just sell it as a 1v1, and I'm happy with a 2-player game. I want that. I want that on my table, Estefania. I want that on my table right now. It's so good. Of course, we also have the amazing designer of Flatter Me, which when Amy came on, we just kind of played the game and we had some fun, and we got to know each other. The thing I like about it is the fact that you're getting to know the people, And like in that situation, Amy and I didn't know each other. And I mean, we just became Facebook friends. And of course, with Facebook friends, sometimes it's surface deep. But then it just kind of, developed a little bit. So I feel like I know her just a little bit more, not a lot more, but just a little bit more, that at least it deepened the relationship here on Facebook.
I'm going to plug Flatter Me a little bit more, because I bought a copy and I sent out a bunch of Palantines to my friends, and I included a couple cards for each of them. And I had the whole box. I threw away the box. I had all the cards out on my desk, and I was looking at each one and thinking of the person I wanted to send it to. And I made little stacks of different people I had in mind. And so now my friends are receiving them, and it's such a joyful game. So search it, support Amy. It was amazing.
Amy's saying thank you for that, which is awesome. We also see Dutch is in here, Dutch Yoda. If you ever get a chance to see some of the stuff that he's doing, he doesn't go to sleep when he live streams. It's like 6-hour difference, I think, between here and there. And he's like Twitch streaming with all the people playing Among Us on a Saturday night. Go to sleep sometime, Dutch. I love you, man. And of course, Anthony, or as I like to say, Tony. Mm-hmm. Tony is so great. I mean, everything that's coming from CGE. I mean, we played Lost Ruins of Arnak with him, and of course, I did horribly. There's not many games I do well. That's the thing I'm learning, but it just always have fun. So this is great. So we already have just like a beautiful cast of people here. So let's keep this going. So for you, my question for you, starting off, what kind of led you into board games journey? Was it anything in your childhood? And then how did you take that and translate it to the industry? What got you then involved in the industry?
So I've been in the industry for 7 years now. I'm only 27. So I started working in the industry when I was still in college. It was my very last quarter of getting my French degree, my French and education degree. So clearly I was planning something very different from my life. But I was working part-time at the zoo and needed another job to cover my rent because college. So I basically went on my university's Craigslist and saw job listings, sorted through them. And there was one that said board game customer service. And I immediately honed in on that. Had previously worked at my FLGS. So already was playing games. I think I'd been playing games as my hobby for 3 years at this point. Got into it my freshman year of college. So I applied, listed my relevant experience, got called in for an interview. And the person interviewing me, I had met before when I worked at my local game store. And this was Stefan from Yellow. He had come in to our shop trying to sell us games. And hey, Susie. He'd come in trying to sell us games, but he's super French. You hear him speak one word, he's French. So all my little 18-year-old heart wanted to do was practice my French with him. But he was trying to sell games. So our goals were not very aligned at the moment. So anyway, I remembered him during my interview. He did not remember the shy little French student who was interrupting his work. Thanks, Susie. Susie just got her Palantine. Or Christmas card. I've sent a lot of mail recently. But anyway, so I got the job. And that was for customer service part-time. And I told Stefan that I'd only be there for 6 months because that's when my grad student program for my teaching license began. There wasn't much demand for foreign language teachers at that time. Mm-hmm. So the grad program did not run. They needed 4 students. They only had 3 in all the languages. So they're like, don't worry. You're still accepted. We're going to press pause on this and try again for next year to see if we can get that 4th person. So I was like, okay, I'll stick around. Enjoying this job, paying the bills, all that. Got a lot of games, so that was nice. The next year, still not enough candidates. So now I've been at Yellow for 2 years. Have been teaching on the side. Decided I liked board games more than I liked teenage boys throwing their shoes in the classroom, which I think makes sense. And decided to stick with Yellow. And by that point, I had donned multiple hats, including organized play and website coding and rulebook translation and just like everything involved with games that you could imagine I had a hand in. So after accumulating all of this experience, I went to Renegade, which is where I think you and I met, and then Gamma, where I worked with all sorts of gaming publishers and all sorts of stores and media people, and that was a really cool experience until I found a home at Pandasaurus, and here I am.
Yeah, it's been I think we met. I think it was through the media group. I had just been part of the media group, joining it because I just was like, oh, there's actually a thing where you can do this stuff and actually interact with these people, and because I'm still new, but I remember I think you were with Gamma at the time, and you were getting stuff squared away for Origins, and I remember that was the thing where it's like, okay, I'd like to go and learn how to be. I want to try to be media. That sounds like fun. And I remember you sent me the application. You're like, okay, you're good. Yeah, you're in. And I was like super excited. And then of course COVID, and then of course everything else that happened last year, which was just so. But hearing that you then transitioned to this job is just a beautiful thing. So yeah, no, that is something exciting. And of course, Susie is what I like to refer to as my second favorite Canadian, because she's just fabulous. And I know that she's going to be teaching Ombra Via, is that right? This weekend for Tantrum Con?
Yes.
So,
yes.
Yeah.
She's on our demo team and she's amazing.
Yeah, she is definitely an asset for companies. Definitely just something about her. She's got the joy and personality that when it comes to teaching a game, it's easy to catch on and be able to just relax and enjoy. Sometimes you
I describe her as sunshine incarnate. Like 1 minute with her and you're friends. You're besties. She is so friendly.
Yeah, I agree. Susie, you were amazing. Just we're saying that right now. So, yep. Oh, and Estefania says, I guess I'm going to get to know Susie this weekend. So, very cool. Yeah, that's awesome. But yeah, so you've gone through this process. You've learned French. You were going to go into teaching. I know what that's like. I was going to go into music and go into music and then education. And so, but it's beautiful that sometimes the things that we plan, even with our wonderful college degree, the way it is, instead we learn new things and we learn new skills and abilities, which is quite well. However, your French is beautiful, especially your diction when you were singing. I forget the song you were singing. It was on
La Vie en Rose.
Yeah. But I think the only French I know is un arbre par-dessus les toits, c'est bleu, c'est comme la cloche dans les cieux qu'on vont doucement tente, un oiseau sur l'arbre qu'on va chanter sa plainte. But that's just a song. So that's all I know. So it's I forget. It's called De Una Prison, which is it's a song about a gentleman who is sitting in his prison cell looking out at the beauty and the majesty of everything. And then it gets to the part where it's like, mon Dieu, my God. And he's just like sobbing and he's sad. And so that was my.
A lot of French songs are like that.
They are. Why? Why is that?
So many feelings.
No, but I mean, your French is just amazing. Now, have you used that like with communication with people, like when we were dealing with people internationally for the company, or and then also like of course Canada? Canada's got some French up there.
They do have some Frenchies. I don't speak it as much as I used to. I used to speak it hours a day. But I write in it all the time. I write, hey. I write a lot of emails, to francophones in Canada and in Belgium and in France. A lot of press people for that, but we also do localizations where our games are translated into French, or we're bringing games that are originally in French into English. Ugh, my heart.
I think it's just unanimous right here. I think tonight's just going to be We Love Danny night. I think that's how it's going to be. So yeah,
I will try to be okay with that. I'm not great at compliments, but thank you.
Okay. Well, we're gonna put this out there right now. It's the thing that I've been saying to people. Thanks, Amanda. I'm gonna put that up there too. Yeah, Chris is okay too. Thanks, Amanda. Love the love. No, I'm gonna say this right now. You are an amazing person. You truly do care about the community. And this is a living example that there's 9 people on here right now that are just nonstop complimenting you and the good that you're doing. So you are definitely deserving of it. So I know that there's times, and I fight it too. Because I work and I do this thing called the Charity Board Gamer where we're doing good, and still there comes those points where you feel like, am I really worthy of the praise that I'm getting? You are.
Oh gosh, thank you. Imposter syndrome is a real thing, though. Eric Lang was just talking about it, I think, yesterday. But literally everyone deals with it. And if they don't, then, I mean, I wish I knew what that was like.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where I think we as people, we see the amazing works that others are doing sometimes. We're seeing, and then at the same time, we try not to compare. We try not to look at it. We try not to say, okay, wow, that's awesome what they're doing. Mm-hmm. I know that I'll never be a Rodney Smith. I know that I'll never be, Tom Vassell. I know that I am going to be me. I'm going to do what I'm doing. I'm going to have fun doing it. And God given, I'll live till I die doing the stuff that I'm doing for charities. But the depression part that comes with imposter syndrome is so hard to fight. Mm. So I want you to take all this praise today, and I want you to know that is truly who you are. So
all
these people. So all these people are saying right off the bat. Okay. So if you ever need to go back, watch this again, read all those comments, because I have not highlighted every single one, but there's plenty of them just saying that you were worthy and that you were loved. So
I do want to go to the URL that Amy typed out and see what happens.
Okay. I don't know if it popped up. Let's see here. Oh. Oh, nice. I like it. That's very cool. So tell us a little bit about what you've been enjoying other than the Pandasaurus side. What have you been enjoying doing during this time where we can't really go out and do things like that? But what are some of the stuff that you've been able to just kind of be like, all right, I know I can't normally go out and do all these exciting things, but I've been able to at least appreciate this stuff more. What's some stuff that you've enjoyed?
So my partner and I moved in together in April, this past April. So right when quarantine was starting. And we combined our board game collection, and we actually were super nerds and typed everything out in a spreadsheet. And we have a column for player count, and we have a column for each of us, whether or not we've played it before. And we'd also made columns for our normal gaming group, but that doesn't matter quite as much at the moment. So we we sorted the list after we were done. We sorted the 400 titles on the list, and found out that we had about 50 titles that neither of us had played. Most of those still on shrink or unpunched, just embarrassingly untouched. So, and that's not counting expansions. That's not counting games that one of us have played. So we've been chipping away at that. Lists are so good. Thank you, Kim.
I told you it's just going to keep coming. It's just going to keep coming. All these praises for you is just going to keep coming. Folks, just keep them coming. Let's keep it going. I don't care. The whole rest of the live stream, just keep it going.
We'll see how red my face can get.
Okay. That's cool. Amanda, if we can make a bot for that, so you when you have like a scale of 1 to 5 on redness, I don't know. But yeah, no, here, right there.
Thank you, Allison and/or Daniel.
But yeah, no, that's awesome. I mean, the fact that you're able to just start going through them and organizing them and stuff, I can't do that. My brain, like, I can, don't get me wrong, I can deal with spreadsheets. I do data for a hospital. And so I'm used to that. But like when I look at these things, I'm like, I don't even know how to organize it right. Like some people are like, oh, you organize it by publisher.
No,
That's great.
just however it fits, just throw them on there.
That's exactly what I do. It's like, okay, well, I try to put them by publisher at the most part. And then like for me, then it's like, okay, I'm not going to, I mean, I've seen Ross's work where he like color codes them. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I love it. But I would get so distracted because my ADD would somehow at some point kick in as I'm doing it. I'm like, oh crap, I put a purple one.
Forgot one, yeah.
Yeah, that would happen to me.
Well, I think what we ended up doing is, let's see. So the big boys are way up top, and they're also down below, like our zombicide upon zombicide and whatever is down low. But then the higher shelves are things that we want to play often or that we are interested in. Like this shelf is beautiful. It's creme de la creme. Whereas lower things we don't typically play very often. So that's, and then, you know, just however it fits, doesn't matter. We've got bins of small games. Yay.
It's just, like I said, it's going to keep coming. No. Yeah, no, it's really cool. I mean, of course I see, was that Wingspan that was right behind you? Yep. Have you played the Oceania expansion yet?
That is on our other shelf over there because it doesn't fit in the box because we have the Europe expansion there already. So no, we have not yet played Oceania, but we did accidentally buy 2 copies of it. One from our local store that we pre-ordered and forgot we pre-ordered. So then we ordered it from a different store that a friend owns out of state. So we went out of our way to buy a second copy by accident, but we got to support 2 very amazing local game stores.
Nice.
Yay.
Yeah, no, it's nice to be able to share that love for games with other people too. Like now when you combine your collections, did you have overlapping ones or extras that like, hey, I've got points out. Oh, you have points out. Well, I don't want to get rid of this. I don't want to get rid of mine, or you know, or points where you like said, hey, let's take this over to somewhere or give this to a family or a friend who needs to be able to be a little bit happier. I mean, that's kind of what board games do. So.
It's true. We definitely, so we both had copies of Seven Wonders because it's a grail. It's just an amazing game. And we both had like all the promos and all the expansions and the broken token insert. Like we both adore this game. But Dave's box was slightly newer and I had color coded sleeves for each of the ages. So we just kind of like Frankensteined our copies together and ended up with the most well-loved pieces of our joint game in another box. I don't remember what we did with our combined game, but it doesn't matter because we recently sold the other one because I got my translator copy, which is somewhere on the shelf behind me. So we got the fancy new version with the gold foil. Yeah,
I love it.
Yes, so this is the version we own now, which is shiny, literally shiny with foil cards. Travis. But yeah, so we've been selling games too that we've had doubles of, which is nice. Like we actually have some holes in the shelves now.
And the other thing I've noticed is that during this time of COVID, I've seen a lot of ink lately, which you've just been like, it's awesome. Like I still haven't gotten a tattoo to this day, and I still not one. You don't understand. Like I want to, but I've put so much thought into it that it's kind of almost nerve-wracking a little bit for me to do it. So the tattoo that I want to put it on my wrist. And I want it to be my kids' names, and I want it to be when they first wrote them. So
in their handwriting?
Yeah, in their handwriting. And so basically have it stenciled in with their handwriting, and then that way it's kind of like the idea of, okay, this is my bloodline. So this is the reason why I get up in the morning. This is the reason why I keep going. So rather than thinking of depression type things of your wrist, instead seeing the wrist and saying, this is why I get up. This is what's going to motivate me to keep going. So that's kind of the idea. So
that's beautiful.
Yeah. And the other one, which is just my nerdiness coming through, is I want to get the Indiana Jones cross from what was it? The Last Crusade, where he rips open his shirt. He's like, and it's that giant cross in the middle, which is really cool. But yeah, I kind of want to get that on the side. But my wife's got this beautiful vine and branches on the back. And then she's got the blackbird on her foot, take these broken wings and learn to fly. And then she has on the back of her calf, she has a sea turtle. And instead of it being a normal shell, it's a compass.
That's cool.
Yeah. But yeah, I've seen all the sweet ink you've gotten, which is just amazing. So.
That's my. So I've basically 3 hobbies: games of all types, video, board, whatever, makeup, and tattoos. How I spend most of my time. So yeah, tattoos are the only reason I leave my house, and I have basically a standing monthly appointment at this point. I'm working. I'll show you the recent edition, which might look shiny because I have.
You got the film on it right now, or?
No, that came off yesterday, so now it's very itchy. So I put Aquaphor Vaseline on it.
Gotcha.
No, that's gonna be hard. But anyway, it's a sleeve. That's one of my ladies. The other one's on my bicep, but it wraps around. Arms are hard to show off. This quote I had already. It's by my favorite band, and we stopped early because I could not hang with more work getting done. But this is fabric that's going to be shaded in. And
that's going to be nice.
My other lady up there.
What's the favorite band?
So they're called Murder by Death.
Okay.
And
that makes that sounds interesting.
They're basically dark Americana. Like the type of people who are all about whiskey and so dark Americana. Their themes are pretty just dark, but they're beautiful. They got their name from the black and white comedy film, which I've not yet seen. But they're really good. They're from Bloomington, Indiana. They live in Louisville right now and have a pizza restaurant that I really want to go to, but I'm slightly too far away to go to on the weekend. It's like a 4-hour drive one way.
That would be about the same for me, because I'd have to hop on 64 and just drive across the state and just kind of be like, for me, I'd be like, all right, that's pizza's good and all, but I don't know if it's a 4-hour pizza.
When I go, I will definitely buy like 3 pizzas. I don't know if you can freeze a cooked pizza, but that I would try it. So
we've done it in our house. I mean, seriously, with a family of 5, we get some extra pizzas like at the Little Caesars. You can freeze it, and then you just warm it back up in the oven.
Oh, good to know. Thank you for being the guinea pig.
You're welcome. Yeah, it comes from having kids. You're just kind of like, okay, they didn't eat their pizza. All right, so now we've got to find a way to save this, because we spent money. So it's like, we spent money. We got to make sure that we get our money's worth out of the food. So
I learned the hard way that not all foods can be frozen, though, which is why I was apprehensive about the pizza. In college, I had a Costco membership, but I didn't have any roommates. So I bought a giant Costco size bag of spinach, and I couldn't eat it all. So I decided to freeze half of it. It was very, very sad when I opened it.
See, in our dorms back in college, you weren't allowed to have anything like a grill or anything on the inside, and they didn't allow certain things in there. So I was making microwave sweet tea, and then I got a George Foreman grill, and I plugged it inside of my dorm room. And luckily I was on the bottom floor, so I stood outside cooking burgers, and I was selling them to all the rest of the guys in the dorm.
My gosh.
That paid for date nights with different people. I was like, let's hey, I paid let's go see a movie. We had a dollar theater, so it was great. As Tuesday night was 50-cent night, so it's like date night. There we go. So
Done. Such an entrepreneur.
My whole goal was okay. I usually did most of my dates kind of Dutch, unless I was going out to eat and taking that person out to eat. But because at the same time, I thought to myself, okay, am I going to spend this much money right now? And then later, I was very much investment minded. When I met my wife, we were friends.
How many burgers is this worth?
Yeah, well, no, I don't know, but I was a poor college kid, so it's kind of like, I remember Valentine's Day, I took out my friend, and we dressed up really nice. I wore the tuxedo because I sang in a choir, and she dressed up in a beautiful dress, and we just joked because we went to Fazoli's, and we had spaghetti. It was good. That was it. That was Valentine's Day for us. It's like, I'm not rich. And she's like, I'm not rich either. I'm like, let's go get Fazoli's. Yeah, that's college. That's college dinner right there.
Yeah, no shame. That's fine.
No. So tell us about what's been going on at Pandasaurus. And yes, Travis, I went Dutch 50-cent to the 50-cent movies. Yes, I did, because let's be honest, dating was very few and far between for me in college. It just wasn't one of those things that I was interested in. My mom was dealing with cancer, and I was kind of like, you want to hang out, that's cool, but I'm going to put this right up front beforehand. We can hang out, it's cool with me, but I'm seriously not looking for anything serious. And that really even happened with my wife, where I wasn't serious. And then one day we said, what's happening here? Because for some reason this is getting serious. And we had like a serious talk. And I said, well, I'm not really looking for anything unless it's a long haul. She was the same way. And I was like, okay. And then I proposed later, about a few months later after that. And then we got married. So yeah, 20 years. And was it right now? It's 18 years right now? 18 years we've been married. So she somehow still puts up with me to this day.
When it works, it works.
Oh my gosh, yes. And yes, see, Fazoli's is yes. But yeah. See, and Dutch always goes Dutch. There's nothing wrong with that. See,
that makes sense.
That's good. All right. And I don't know what bead sticks are. I don't know. I think you all are meaning breadsticks, but I really want to go to Fazoli's now and be like, can I get some bead sticks? Yeah. Yes, I don't take her to the movies right now. It's COVID season. But yes, no. When we go out, we try to go to a movie or something like that. But when you have kids, it's kind of like, okay. Luckily, my daughter is a teenager. It's like, okay, this is what you've got your cell phone. This is kind of your cost. You have to deal with your brothers for a couple hours while your mom and I go out for a date. And that's kind of how we take care of her cell phone for her. And then, but we see movies, just not right now because I don't want to chance anything. And she is immunodeficient, which would not be good for her. So, all right. So now that Travis now has asked questions and is picking on me, let's talk. Yeah. Yes, Daniel, I'm going to pick on you because I really want to try bead sticks now. Bead sticks. All right. So tell us about what's going on at Pandasaurus, because I know we talked just briefly in the beginning about Umbravia, and I don't know if I'm saying that right or not. I just like saying it like that. But tell us about what's going on. Because it's not like I don't know, because the emails and the communication is phenomenal. But somebody on here probably doesn't know.
Yeah, the Burrells are also super excited about Umbravia. So first of all, Umbravia is our March release. It comes out in just about 4 weeks. This was the 2019 Cardboard Edison winner. So this is a game design contest hosted by game designers and industry professionals. So the designer, Connor Wake, submitted this as his first design. And so the fact that it won is very, very exciting for him and for us as well. I've played it a half dozen times now through training the demo team and playing with a few content creators. It's amazing, actually. I'm not saying that as Pandasaurus, but yeah, Amanda and I are playing with Monique and I think Benita too for the Tabletop Live Network stream on Valentine's Day or Galentine's Day or Palentine's Day, whatever you prefer. But it's an abstract tile laying game with secret bidding and area control, which are normally two mechanics that I'm not a fan of because I'm not very aggressive and I can't lie. So bidding and secrets do not usually go well for me. But the way they all interconnect and interact with each other is beautiful. So that is one thing we have going on. Before we went live, you mentioned that I was likely very busy with this. However, I was busy with our April and June releases today. I am in the future, and Nathan is way in the future in October, which is why he keeps tweeting when I'm in meetings and can't stop him. If you're following the Pandasaurus Twitter, it is very clear when I am tweeting and when Nathan is tweeting. And whenever Nathan tweets, it's either when I'm off work because I'm on the East Coast or when I'm clearly in a meeting that he's also in, but I'm not looking at my phone. But anyway, he keeps making very outrageous, strong statements about one of our October releases. And I know what the game is, and I think they are worthy of the claims that he's making, but I hope no one disagrees with him. For best title and best artwork, and I don't know what else he said, but fun time.
Yeah. Estefania says, I do, and it's very clear when he tweets. Definitely can tell.
Nathan doesn't use emojis or images, and that's how I communicate.
Which of the Pandasaurus games, other than the ones that like Umbravia and Forward, which ones have been the ones that you've really drew you to Pandasaurus? What were the ones that you're like, I've really enjoyed playing these, and getting a chance to work for this company got you kind of more excited?
So it was pretty funny when I started working. They were like, okay, we're going to send you the whole catalog just so you have reference for everything. And I was like, well, the only game I'm missing is the newest one, so it'll be a pretty small package. So I was already a huge fan of their games. I played the Mind in the game. And we had 2 copies of Silver and Gold, and all the Dino stuff already, the Kickstarter versions. So I had already liked all of their games. I knew it was quality gameplay and quality components. Which is something I'm kind of picky on, having worked in the industry and knowing the roads and decisions some publishers can make with their games. So I knew that their priorities for gaming aligned with mine. But I was actually very excited to receive Sonora, which was a game I play tested before I started working for Pandasaurus. And back then, instead of being Arizona desert themed, it was about bugs. So the 4 different sections, which are 4 desert animals in the final version, were bees and ants and spiders and caterpillars, I think. And they all worked just like the bugs, so it was so cool to see. The current theme works really well too, and I think more people like rabbits and foxes than spiders and bees, maybe. Mm-hmm. But that was really fun to actually be part of the process for this game.
That's really cool, because I know sometimes it's nice when you can play test a game and give your insight into it and see that your insight is valued, and you're able to be like, hey, this was good, but I've noticed that in the rule book this made no sense. Mm. And like, and this is before, of course, rule book editing, but at least it polishes it a little bit more. I remember we play tested Escape from the Haunted Mansion for the op as a family, and my wife, she's like, this is is the one thing that I'm seeing that's kind of, a little off. And we gave our input and we gave our thoughts, and it was really cool. Is they're like, yeah, oh yeah, hey, it's a typo. And it's like, sweet. So we found a typo before it got into a rule book, because when you get a final rule book and you see typos, you're just kind of like, or you see not so much typos, but instead errors that maybe don't seem complete. Like you see the end goal at one point, but then you don't read anything about the end goal later as you're reading through all the gameplay, and then you're like, how do we win again?
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to go back. But yeah, I mean, that's really cool though, that you actually got to play a part in the changes and in the development, and it's nice to be able to do that. Yeah, rabbits and foxes. Yes.
Amy's got rabbits on the brain for a new game.
Yeah, rabbit. Have you listened to the playlist yet?
Not the playlist, but I did get a sneak peek at her campaign page and watched her video.
I have not done that yet. I will say though that the music that she put on Spotify has one of my favorite artists, which is Nick Drake. Have you ever listened to Nick Drake?
Mm-mm.
What about Elliott Smith?
Maybe. I'm awful with
You're okay.
names.
You're good. You're good.
Lyrics.
You're good.
That's why I had to get one tattooed on me so I wouldn't forget it.
No, if you gave me contemporary artists and contemporary songs, I probably would be like, whoever that is. But no, Nick Drake was a songwriter back in the 70s. He went through a bout of depression. He actually overdosed from antidepressants. But his music was so profound and beautiful, and it inspired a lot of different artists that came later, like Elliott Smith and different musicians to this day. But yeah, like this playlist is just so good. It's like, I was listening to it at work today. Amy, thank you for putting it on Facebook. But yeah, it's good stuff. But yeah, rabbit. Very cool. Let's see here. Panda Angel says, I love playtesting, but when I play the final game, I need to remember to not remember the playtesting rules.
This is something that Brian on our team, who's our sales manager, but also a co-designer of Dinosaur World and Roar and Write, when the campaign was live, the Kickstarter campaign, I'd go to him all the time. Like, Brian, a backer asked a rules question. Can you clarify X, Y, and Z? He's like, well, the version that I remember is like 10 versions back, and I don't have the new rule book, so you're gonna have to ask someone else. So it's super common, even for the designers of the game, to have to like sort through save files in their brain and access their most recent one.
Well, yeah, I would guess that would have to be hard, because like you said, just having to, like, you remember how you started, and you remember maybe a couple playtests later how you changed it, but having it set in stone, that's interesting. My brain can't even focus on one thing most of the time, so try to focus on other things at other times would be wild. That reminds me, is my laundry done? No, I'm just kidding. So yeah, there's something burning. It's okay. Don't worry. I'm good.
Fine. There's no smoke yet, so we won't worry.
That's so true. So the other thing I brought you on to talk about is something that's close to your heart. It's Planned Parenthood. We're going to talk about that tonight. I'm going to pull up the actual website, and I'm going to put a little banner in here. If any of you are interested in learning a little bit more about Planned Parenthood and supporting it, I'm going to also have it down here. So I will add to the stream, and I'll let you kind of take it away while I scroll through. You tell me where to go, and I will try to listen and do what I'm told. So.
Well, I don't have much of a journey through the website plan, but I can talk about why it means so much to me. So having gone to public schools and having known people who went to private schools, I think our health education, comprehensive health education, is really lacking in our nation. So I actually got most of my health knowledge about my own body, what was happening in middle school and high school, and what the heck puberty is and why was it ruining my life.
Why am I talking funny, Mom? Yeah.
Why is my body changing? Why do I have pimples that are just the worst thing? Anyway, the people working at Planned Parenthood were extremely helpful. And, you know, just all the resources they have on their website. They offer so many services beyond what people might initially think of when talking about Planned Parenthood. They do cancer screening, they do STD testing. They help people both with insurance and without insurance. So basically, anyone who could possibly need help from them, they're willing to give it. And I've used their services, I don't know how many times through my teenage years, through college, through adulthood. So I don't think I would be here in this very moment without having access to Planned Parenthood. And it is such a damn shame that it is not funded as much as it should be. And that, you know, I grew up in California, so there's Planned Parenthood wherever I lived. There was at least one in driving distance. But now I'm not in California, and I had looked up Planned Parenthoods near me, and they were so far fewer than what I was used to. I was shocked. So, yes, I think the more help they can get to keep doing the good that they do is better for everyone. It's not just people with any body can go there. They do testing on female bodies, male bodies, like they they have mental health resources as well. I went there for birth control, and then they checked in on my mental health and gave me hotlines to call if anything was to go downhill. So if you haven't heard much about what Planned Parenthood does, I encourage you to look at this really extensive website. I haven't even seen most of these pages, actually, Chris. I'm learning things today too.
Good. I was going through it. My wife and I both talked a lot about it after you were saying it, and we were talking about the cancer part, because cancer screening is big. I mean, you think about it, to have a resource like this, to be able to go for a mammogram, cancer screening, anything of that nature, it's important. You know, it's not, and like you just said, sometimes the school systems fail in explaining stuff. Sometimes, let's be honest, as a mom and dad, we don't know all the answers. And gosh, it's going to be awkward to have those conversations about the birds and the bees and all that stuff, and having those serious heart-to-heart, down-to-earth conversations. It's not always easy as a parent. So sometimes parents fail in those things. And so if there is something, I mean, it's good for us, of course, I recommend parents learn these things. But at the same time, when you don't know these things, get the sources, get the resources, and actually know how to talk about it with your kids. But yeah, I mean, this is good. I get excited about the cancer side, because cancer has really affected my family in the past and everything. So when you see these things where they actually help out with these and talk about these things and address them, that, to me, that's a lot for me. So
I think one time not literally, but I'm going to say literally ran to Planned Parenthood, because I had made an appointment through this was in college, through my university health center. And this was to get birth control. And, you know, I go in, I'm like, I'd been on birth control before. I'm like, okay, I would like my birth control, please. And they said, okay, take off all of your clothes and we'll be right back. I'm like, no. I just need the birth control, please. I don't need anything else. And so I did not want to do this. You know, they were doing their jobs. It was apparently university policy that they do STD testing, breast exam, just check to make sure you're good to go as their student and ward. But I left that appointment and instead made an appointment at Planned Parenthood to get my birth control pills. And their nurses and doctors made me feel so much more safe than my university caretakers. Just the way they I guess it boils down to empathy, but the way they explained all of the steps that they needed to take, why it was important that I have, you know, regular breast exams, how I could do it myself, what to look for. They educated me to make me safer in the future, and made it so, like, you know, cancer screenings, I'd catch things as soon as possible. They educated me about my own body so that I wouldn't have to go back to Planned Parenthood or a doctor as often as I might have otherwise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I do like the fact that what you said there was that the doctors were empathetic to what you were going through and not being forceful in the sense of, I mean, if I got told to strip down, I'd be like, "Are you sure you don't want to see this?" So, you know, for me, because I mean, I don't look good, but at the same time, I think to myself, like, why do this to somebody? I mean, doctors need to be empathetic of the patients that they're dealing with, and so your experience actually talking about that is encouraging. So, and I think you're frozen, which I just realized. It's okay.
Hello?
You froze. Yeah, you're good. You froze for a little bit. It's okay. I was like, what happened?
I was just about to text you saying my internet crashed.
You're good. You're still there. You're still there. What I was just saying was that, yeah, you know, I like that you talked about the empathy that you got from the doctors there. Because, you know, yeah, there are doctors out there that are not always caring about their patients, and instead they treat it like a job versus, you know, there's doctors here. I know that there's different medical systems where they get paid by the job versus getting paid by the hour. You'll notice that the person that gets paid by the hour takes more time and puts more into it because they're going to get paid, of course, by the hour. Versus just getting paid for the job. Because when you get paid for a job,
it's such a shame. Oh, it really gets me riled up talking about our healthcare system.
Well,
there's
I mean,
so many failings.
I don't disagree. And like I said, I work in the medical field, but I work in a data side. But even having to have my wife, when we had the breast cancer scare last year, you know, having to have the cyst basically removed. It was a tumor. Luckily it wasn't cancerous. But, you know, even working in the medical system, costs are still crazy. Costs are just still crazy. And so when you have organizations that you're not having to worry as much and you're able to actually go to them and get some of this advice and go through these systems, and you're not having to pay an arm and a leg, seriously, an arm and a leg, it's good.
Yeah, we need more of that.
Yeah, we really do. We really need to get to a level where people can be taken care of. You can't, seriously, there's people out on the street right now that can't afford anything, even a meal, that could use good health care. There's families that are need to take care of their kids, and they need good health care. It's a way of life that we should. I mean, it's not that it hasn't been done in other countries. I'll leave it at that. I'm not going to get overly political, but I will say that I'm disappointed in the fact that we have not made progress to going that route. So
correct. I know it's something that's talked about frequently in recent days and years, but the fact that we're still not where most of the rest of the world is frustrating.
Very, very. But I do love the fact that you were able to go to a place that was able to take care of you, that took care of you and treated you with respect, that educated you in things that you needed to know and made sure that you felt comfortable. That is a big thing when going to somebody, but yeah. Yeah, Dutch. Yeah, it's yeah. Yeah, we'll leave that one at that. Yeah, that's so true. So true. But no, I want to say a special thank you to everybody that's been able to watch tonight. And of course, we could just go through all these comments again.
No.
I mean, Jeremiah came on here just a little while.
Jeremiah,
He said rock on. I remember he used to do some demonstrations, I think, through Renegade, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
So, yep. And then let's just see here. Yeah, look at all these beautiful comments. I'm just
puberty is very rude. Oh, agree, Amy.
Yeah. But yeah, but in truth, it is a joy to have you on here. You truly are worthy of all the compliments that you got tonight, because that's not even the full extent of what it is. I'm pretty sure if we just sent out a message on some place like Board Game Spotlight, I'm pretty sure we'd just have about maybe 300, 400 comments just talking about how awesome you are with communicating with us. So I'll leave it at that. I'm going to say that.
My cheeks hurt from smiling.
It's okay. See, we got some more hearts for you right here. Look at that. All the hearts. But yeah. So, folks, I want to say once again, special thank you to Danni for coming on tonight. If you're interested in taking a look at her Twitter, it's just awesome, because you'll get little tidbits of just everything that's going on with the super cool tattoos and just all the fun things that she's up to. But also follow Pandasaurus on Twitter and just be on top of it, because I kid you not, the communication from her is phenomenal. If you want to know about what's going on, follow Pandasaurus on Twitter, follow it on Instagram, follow it on Facebook. You will see a lot of information and you'll get hyped up and excited about it. Like, I'm excited because I want October to be here already, because I don't know what it is, but I want to know.
Yeah, you don't have a time machine like we do.
I don't have a time machine. No. Oh gosh, if I did have a time machine, I would try to get some of this hair back. I don't know. But yeah, no. But folks, remember, if we can gather at a table, we can do the same for a good cause. So we're going to go ahead and play out. Everybody have a great night, and we'll see y'all later. Bye. We also want to thank our sponsor, Greenbrier Games. Be on the lookout for Lost Ones hitting the Pledge Manager soon.